back to another CreativeDisc exclusive interview with me, Luthfi. And right now we are getting a first offline interview after a long time. After I'm doing online interview for a long time, and this one is very special. My first offline interview after a pandemic is like I just hear her song through like maybe like 1 year ago. Is it like Say Something, and I very like heart struck with the song. So we gotta talk about a lot with this guest today. This is Thackray. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I'm hot and sweaty, but I'm good.
How's Indonesia? How's Indonesia?
Beautiful. I'm very hot. I've never been this far from home, and I've never been anywhere more hot. So it's an adjustment, but it's gorgeous. Since
pandemic time, you are never go through the fire like this.
Ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's really special to be here.
Okay, so let's talk about your new single called Golden Green. Am I right?
Yeah, so
yes.
It came out yesterday.
Yes.
With rapper Wiki, who's one of New York City's finest. He's doing amazing stuff, making lots of interesting sort of moves in the rap scene, and the way that he approaches his verses is just like, yeah, very special and unique. So pleasure to have him on the track in this new version.
How can you came up with idea of Golden Green?
So it's about smells. It's about when I met my partner, and just what he smelled like was like a big part of it. And I wanted to write something that was about the first moments and things that you remember. So for me, it was, you know, smelling like a kind of cookie, and it's that for me was like a standout thing, and it's something that I always remember them by. So I wanted people to think about a friend or their mum or whoever it is, where they just like, someone might walk past you and you think, that's the same perfume as my mum, you know. So it's about those moments.
So let's talk about your previous album called called Yellow. I think like Yellow is like a very unique album to me. I just heard it entire album, and it's like you mix something different from jazz perspective, I think.
Yeah, I definitely tried to. I think I listened to a lot of different kinds of music, and they all just come out. So I never try and purposefully make something you know, that mixes a lot of genres. It's just very natural to me. So I tried to make a record that felt very honest, and yeah, I just wanted to be myself.
But how can you be mixed, like you say that you want to mix a dance floor flick, and you know, I think some kind of beat is like a drum and bass flick, I think, in this album. How can you mix up with something like this? I think because, you know, Say Something is a very great track, I think, because, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the first time is like, oh, this is kind of a dance jazz track, but it's fully integrated with jazz. Like, I think, how can you balance it without being too bloated or too much?
I think that for me, it's because I don't try to. I think I just let it be honest. And because I, you know, like going to clubs, and I like dance music, I like jazz, I like everything that each side of the music world brings. It's just already inside me. So I just try and be honest.
But, you know, it kind of tricky one. When you make it, is it kind of tricky to make it, oh my god, I want to make a dance floor anthem for jazz club. Is it kind of like tricky for you for when you started?
No, it feels very normal. It feels like
really?
Yeah, it feels like what I should be doing. It just sort of, yeah, like I never sit down and think I want to do this but mixed with that. I just sit down and it just comes out.
Oh wow! Because I think when I heard Yellow from start to finish, I think it's a very complex album. It's a very complex album for me. It's like you mix a different genre into the one thing and voila, and turn it into a complex jazz. Like, wow, it's a great album. I think it's like, yeah, really.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, you are a band leader, am I right? Okay. How does it feel to becoming a band leader?
I think, yeah, I mean, I love to be able to communicate to the musicians and get them to see my vision and play in a way that is needed. And it's something that feels very normal and natural, because I've done it for a long time.
Oh, wow.
So before I was doing my own music. I did some teaching, and I've done some band leading of like a kids orchestra of 100 kids, or a jazz orchestra, like more of a big band kind of thing. Lots of different experiences that have all sort of come together to be helping me with what I'm doing now. So I'm playing music with my best friends, and it feels, it's great, because I mean, it's my vision. It feels like I'm trying to get them to serve the music that I've written, but when we play live, everyone has a little bit more license to do what they want, so a bit more room to be themselves.
But what's the challenging moment when you are a band leader? What's the challenging moment when you are a leader of musical ensembles?
I think the most challenging thing is if somebody isn't quite playing what you need them to. Because I want them to feel comfortable and that they can express themselves, but I also want them to express themselves in the way that I want them to. So it's about trying to manipulate the musicians in a way where they don't realize they're being manipulated, if that makes sense.
Like how?
So,
like how? Is it you have any study case?
Sometimes, like I've read some books on like football management as well.
Oh,
so,
really?
Like, how football managers treat their football team, and the little tricks that you can use. So it's the same. It's the same for me. It's like getting them to express themselves, but in a way that they don't even realize they're doing it.
So I didn't realize that football culture influenced you so much into leading things, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wow. What kind of favorite football things that you love?
What football team?
Yeah, football teams.
Leeds United.
Oh.
So in the UK, obviously football is life in the UK. And I think even if you don't support a team, you kind of might half support a team in the UK. But I passionately support my hometown club, and I think there's so much of football and music that
blends together.
Yeah.
Yes, because I think like Britain culture is like very, very, it's like blend everything from football to the pop and the music in the pop, so it can connect together.
Yeah, I think so. I think when, if you think about the way you play football, you have an idea, you have tactics, but within that you can improvise and play the way you want to. It's the way I think of music, that we have chord structures, we have melodies, we have bass lines, but within that we can improvise and make it up.
I didn't expect this interview gonna be like a football things and a management things, I think. Okay, my last question for you. Mention 5 things we didn't know about MJ and Thackray.
5 things?
Yes.
Well, probably one of them is that I'm into football. Another one, I'm a vegan, so difficult sometimes to eat around the world, but it's something I'm passionate about.
In Indonesia, we are many of vegan food in here.
Yeah.
I just like I'm not a vegan too, but I'm into the more vegetables. In Indonesia, we are getting more veggie foods in here.
Yeah, I always think that's the best way to be. 3, I mean, ties into number 2. I love animals. Number 4, I guess I'm a little bit of a hippie in some ways. It
represents on your cover yellow, I'd say.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm very sort of like we're all one, like universal conscious idea. So that ties into growing up with a lot of Taoist philosophy from my dad. So although I wouldn't say I am a Taoist, I think it's definitely part of me. And number 5, I'm not sure.
Your favorite album?
My favorite album? So many.
But if you can pick one.
Sketches of Spain by Miles Davis, probably.
Wow.
Because that's what made me want to play jazz music.
Okay, so my very, very last question, I think. Now you mentioned the jazz records, like, what do you think about jazz?
I think it's a language rather than a style. So, in the sense that you can hear 2 different bands that both say they play jazz music and they can sound so different.
Yes.
I think it's important to think of jazz as a language. So, we're speaking using a certain certain vocabulary, and within that we can say anything we want. So right now we're speaking English to each other, and we can say anything we want within these words, these phrases that we've all learned, but we don't have to talk about anything specific. And I think it's the same in jazz. We don't have to, we can make dance floor music, we can do drum and bassy kind of things. The jazz is the words that we're saying.
Okay, so Emma, thank you very much for this interview. Thank you very much. I learned a lot from you, and I didn't expect this interview gonna be a long like I think like I know the deep inside like the music of you like on Yellow and something when you say bandleader and such stuff like that. So Emma, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and I'm Luthfi signing out. Thank you CD Bestie for watching this interview. Once again, this is Emma Jen Thackray.